Hey folks, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Portable Gaming and welcome back to ETS2. We are in Kokkola and we just took this job. We rushed over here from our delivery that we just made. We weren't too tired when we made that delivery, so we ran over here. We've got 720 kilometers to go, approximately, and we may be able to make it. We don't need any sleep at all, so let's take a quick look. Take that back. We have 21 hours. Okay, this is going to be interesting. We have 21 hours to deliver the job. We have 11 hours. This is going to be very tight, but we're going to do all right. So let's get started. Let's take off the parking brake. And let's get started. Here we go. And what's the weight on this? 25 tons. Not terrible. Not terrible for this truck, which I believe is 580 brake horsepower. Now yesterday I hit this awning pulling in here. I got stuck on it. Maybe it was a different awning. But I feel like when we go across these scales we need to be further over than it seems like. And how do we get out of here? Right over here. Turning circle on this truck is the truth. Try to get out of here without hitting anything or hooking the trailer, which I have a bad habit of doing. Right. Okay, here we go. Still running Frosty mod. As you can see, it seems appropriate up here as we're getting further north. And just for the terrain and the area, I think it just works. And I like it. I think it adds something to the game. It adds some variety to the game. And a couple weeks from now, we're going to be down on the Mediterranean. We'll be dreaming about snow. I certainly won't be seeing any. I don't know how we're going to do the rest of the way across Finland and up into Russia as far as game crashes. Depending on when we have one, I feel like if it happens within the first, I don't know, 15 or 20 minutes of video, I feel it's almost a given that we'll start again. I feel like if it happens in the last 5 or 10 minutes, it's almost a given that we'll call it a day. It's when it's right in the middle that I'm really not sure. You know, best practices for starting again. And I haven't quite figured out how I want to, you know, if I do start again after a crash, do I want to just edit, you know, splice the two together? I'll definitely tell you that I edit. That is my promise to you. That I won't pull a fast one on you. I'll always let you know when I do splice something together, but I'll try to only do it. Well, I can't even say that because I did it when we got stuck on the hill going to Oslo. Can you tell how much that's still kind of bothering me? Yeah. Oh, we got the trailer up on the curb back there. Right. Okay. Oh, looks like we got one more traffic circle up here, and then we'll maybe get out on the road. So I don't know. I've had the channel has been up and running. I've had content up, but I was only sending preview links to friends, having people take a look. So we've only been live for about a week. So the channel is still definitely finding its rhythm. One more traffic circle. Not a big deal. So I don't know. It's a long trip to make it through without the game crashing a single time. And even that's kind of an odd thing to say, right? Not a traffic circle, just traffic. Even that's kind of an odd thing to say, that to go an hour without the game crashing. But earlier this morning I did a Farming Simulator 2017 video, and I was talking about how yesterday I lost a set of Corsa. I don't know what happened. I fired up a set of Corsa and I had 5 FPS. And that's no good. That's not working for anybody. So I don't know what the cause was. I know I just downloaded a new NVIDIA driver. I thought maybe it was that. I never did find it. I spent probably 3 or 4 hours trying to sort out what the problem was. I did a driver rollback. I set my graphics to absolute lowest settings. I tried everything I could think of. And I guess part of it is just, you know, what we do to these games. I'm confident that if I had this game set up, you know, 100% vanilla, absolutely, you know, bare bones base model, I'm confident there would be very little crashing of the game. I might still crash the truck. But you get what I'm saying. It's only what we do to these games that cause them to be, I don't want to say unstable. I mean, they are unstable. Obviously, they are unstable if they crash. That is, to a, I guess, not a software engineer, you don't need to be at that level. But I think most people would agree that if the game does not run as long as you want it to run, that qualifies as unstable. But we know that that instability is caused by the mods that we run, and we really are pushing these games. Are we pushing them beyond what they were designed to do? Because the developers certainly included the option of building and adding mods. I mean, it's got a mod manager. They knew we were going to do that. So, yeah, hard to say. I think it's also sort of fascinating to me that a lot of the mod makers don't necessarily communicate or work in with one another, and I think that's where we get some of the mod conflicts. You know, obviously something like ProMods and TSM. TSM is Truck Simulator Map, I believe, or MHA Pro. There are different large format maps, right? And you know, if you run multiple big maps at the same time, you know the game will barely function. You know not to do that. Well, that's kind of a no-brainer. I mean, you can't run 2 European maps at the same time. But what about 2 trailer packs, right? What about, well, 2 anything. I'm not going to list all the examples, but you get what I'm saying. So, or what about one trucks in traffic pack and 1 trailers in traffic pack from 2 different developers? What about that? So you see what I'm getting at. There are a lot of conflicts that we sort of cause ourselves, but at the same time we don't necessarily have any warning that what we're about to do is going to cause a problem. We just need to maybe apply a little common sense. Like I said, running TSM and ProMods, to me that's kind of a no-brainer. But they do add different cities. I mean, they add some of the same cities, and that's where your conflict is going to be. But they add, I believe, some different cities. So there's you see what I'm saying. TSM adds cities that ProMods doesn't add. ProMods adds cities that TSM doesn't add. So a person could look at that and say, well, the cities that they both add will, you know, one will cancel out the other, but then the cities that each of them uniquely adds, I'll just get more cities. That'll be fantastic. And unfortunately, it doesn't work that way. But you might not know that. So, and now, okay, now I got myself thinking about a set of Corsa, and it's possible that somebody who, see, I think I know about these things. Well, I mean, I know about these things, but I also think I know about these things. Like, it's a self-assessment I'm making of how much I know about technology and drivers and graphics cards and rendering and all that sort of stuff. It's a self-assessment of what I think I know. I wasn't able to find the solution to that Assetto Corsa problem last night. I just reached up to scratch my shoulder, by the way, and almost knocked my headphones off. Because I'm cool like that. So I think I know. But somebody who really knows is going to take a look at my system and be like, oh, hell, man, you got this over here, and that needs to be over there, and you put that there, and fire right up. And that's true. That's, they would know that. So here's me saying, don't run TSM and ProMods at the same time, you dummy. And someone, I'm sure, could look at my system and say the same thing. But I don't want to say it's half the fun, but it's sort of half the fun. In the same way that, now when I built this 164 when I put the third and fourth axle on it, stretched the wheelbase, when I put the sleeper cab on it. I did all that off camera, but we're going to build our Madster MAN. We're going to build that together. Because building trucks, if you play this game, building trucks is fun. It really is. And, it's sort of personal, it's sort of creative, it's sort of this, it's sort of that. So I feel like not just building trucks, but even things like finding mods. Finding mods is fun. And I guess making them work together is kind of fun. What just happened there? Oh. I suppose that is entirely my fault. I wish it wasn't. Bad truck driver. That really kind of bums me out when I do that. Because it is, sometimes the collision boxes on objects are maybe a little wide, sometimes this, sometimes that. Sometimes it's just all your fault, like right there. I think I just hooked a guardrail, and that is, it's really embarrassing when I do that, because I think, man, how many years do I have to play this sim before I can make it through an intersection, giving myself enough clearance that I don't damage my trailer. And so yeah, that's really embarrassing when that happens, but you get to see the fail. And yeah, man, see, I feel like I need to drive for a long time really smooth and accident free to overcome that. Oh, that is, I'm mortified right now. I don't know if you can tell, but this is really rattling me. Yeah, that's terrible. Terrible. Anyway, yeah, it's, I think that's a big part of the game, is finding the mods, finding the trucks, making skins. You can make your own skins for trucks and trailers. I've done some mods. I've done some stuff in Giant's Editor for Farming Sim, but I have not built any 3D models or built any trucks or anything for ETS2. And I've seen some YouTube videos about how to do it. They say, oh, it's a piece of cake. Anybody can do it. And then I've seen others where they're like, oh, yeah, you look at the time for the video, it's like 57 minutes long, and it's how to add a turn signal. And I think, oh dear. What's his name again? How hard is it? So we'll think about that. I would like to, but at the same time, I also think, my plate between. Well, I always put this in the wrong order. I always put having a life at the end, but realistically, you should probably put it first. You know, I have a life. I have a regular life like a person has. And then I'm making these videos, and these it takes some work. I continue to be surprised. It takes some work. And then, come on. Nope. Okay. And then I also sim for fun. I play simulation games for fun that I don't record. So there's that. And then the additional problems of, you know, keeping my system running and keeping everything happy and not speeding through little towns in Finland. I saw the sign and I was slowing down. You saw that. Rewind it 30 seconds. I saw the sign and I was slowing down. I just didn't do it quick enough. So, what was I saying? Oh yeah, stuff. I don't have enough time to start modding, and you know, I'd like to, but I just don't have enough time. And I feel like, you know, realistically, to add one more thing to my plate when I'm already, you know, making an effort to do everything well. Always try to do things well, but when I'm making an effort to do everything well, I feel like there's no way that I can add even more and continue to do things well. So that's where I'm at, sort of where I'm at. I would like to get into modding, but it's just not in the cards right now. Right, Finland. Does it look like my summer car? What do you think? I do like the varied terrain. I think Frosty right now is perfect for this because Iceland has the snow, right? It doesn't have any trees. It's a little bit what, surface of the moon up there. So this, I feel like we should be rallying through here. Not because of my summer car, but it looks like a stage from dirt. Nope. Okay, good on speed limit. But I am going to slow down for this little town up here because I've been dinged for a ticket for a while. But so then when I do slow down, anticipating the town, nothing. Okay. Better safe than sorry. So I ended up uninstalling Assetto Corsa, and if you watch my farm sim vid, you're going to hear me tell the same story twice. I'll be quicker about it this time. I did uninstall Assetto Corsa, and rather than putting in a V with updates and patches, I'm going to go with the most current V and just do a clean install. I didn't go into the registry and delete everything. I probably should. So I might do that. Make sure I have all my registry keys out. So yeah, that's what's going on. I'm trying to think what else. Yeah, about it. It's just a Sunday here. It's going on 9:30. I need to get. I had tea and a protein bar for breakfast. It's just not doing it for me. So go get some breakfast. It's a little bit later, so maybe we'll call it lunch. Wow, that's some compelling content you're throwing to the viewers right there. I had some breakfast, but it wasn't really very good, so I think maybe I'll have more. I suppose you could call it lunch. All right, we're gonna wrap it right there, folks. That's YouTube gold. Can't get any better than that. Come on. Come on. All right. Oh, was not. Man, I'm blowing it today. I'm blowing it. I am normally normally trying to be like the Mr. Attention to Detail truck driver, and I am just absolutely blowing it. I don't know what I can do to make up for this. Drive really, really well, I guess. Smaller fuel tank on this truck, definitely, since we put the axles in, to be expected. I will fill up when we get to half tank, and hopefully, oh, see, this is lovely right now. I don't know how you have your screen set. It's definitely nighttime. It's 7 p.m. It's definitely nighttime, but with Frosty mod and just the cloudy sky and the trees and everything on my monitor, I think this looks fantastic. So I'm really stoked that we kept Frosty mod on for the trip up through Scandinavia. I hope you're enjoying this as much as I am, and we will, when we get to Murmansk, we may break immersion and fly back to France and have our assistant drive our truck back. We may. I don't know if we want to drive all the way down through Eastern Europe. Although, to be fair, once we start to come south, and we're going to take Frosty mods off somewhere probably about the latitude of the Baltic states, we're going to take Frosty out. That being the case, it's going to have an entirely different look, and I know the Baltics and Eastern Europe have a very different look than Scandinavia. So I don't want the videos to get boring, but I also want to maintain the realism, and the realism is that we're taking this long trip. So we'll see. We'll see. I mean, we can do whatever I want. It's just a video game. We can do whatever I want. Well, that sounded a little dictatorial. You can do whatever I want. Let's try another one. We can do whatever we want. I can do whatever I want. And we'll play it by ear, is what I'm getting at. No need to get tied in knots. Oh, reindeer. No need to get tied in knots about being realistic or when we take out Frosty and various other things. Let's play it by ear. Let's have a good time. Now, how are we doing on sleep? 2.5 hours. So next place to sleep, obviously, we will need to pull in there, even if it's right around the bend. And we won't be at half a tank of fuel, but we'll be close. So as good a time as any to pull in there and fuel up 2 reindeer. We'll fuel up and we'll sleep through the night. Good timing on the sleep as well. I've been trying to do more of these in daylight, but the way things work out, I've never intentionally tried to drive at night. I would prefer that we drive in the daytime. I think that the dark videos, particularly when there's too many of them. Here we go. When there's too many videos at night, I know that doesn't work. So I've been trying to drive in the daytime. It sort of works. But there are times when just the sleep cycle and how things work out, you just end up driving at night. No fuel here. I think we're going to be okay on fuel. There's the entrance right there. I don't know what kind of damage the truck took. %. Do repair just the same. Right. Now, what's the best and most thoughtful way to get some sleep in this parking lot without being a total pain in the ass to everyone here? Guess we can back it in. I suspect if we back it in, maybe. We're not falling asleep right now, so let's back it in. Let's see if we still get room. Let's back it in and see if that still gives us enough room to be in the trigger box for the sleep area. Does that make sense? Did I say that right? What's his name again? Run the trailer into the hedge. Right. Okay. Did that in any way make up for the traffic circle? Can you tell? Can you tell how much that's bothering me? Right. Do that. No. Do that. Do that. Let's get a good night's sleep. $5 a.m. There we go. So we will. Take a look before we pull out of the parking lot here. Oh dear. 6 hours and 16 minutes to finish the job. 5 hours and 58 minutes on the ETA. It's going to need to carry the mail here. And we're going to get caught for a few minutes in this town. Okay, well, I guess we'll just haul ass when we get back out onto the freeway. Yeah, I said freeway. Haven't paid off our loan yet. I think we can do that. Well, we could do that right now. Save ourselves a little bit of interest, but it's a relatively small loan. It's a relatively small loan, and our drivers are leveling up. All 4 of our drivers. We're starting to make money faster than we can spend it. I think the upgrades to this truck were 285,000 euro, and we only had to borrow 100,000 to make that happen, and we're about to pay it all back anyway and still have 50,000 euro left over. Right. Yeah, it's going to pass that guy, but I think we'll wait. No need to get crazy. Going to hold off on fuel for now. I see a fuel stop coming up here, but we're going to hold off for now. And we really just need to. All right. Okay. Not. Yes, no, yes. Come on. We really just need to focus on being as fast as possible. This guy. Oh, sir. As fast as possible, as smooth as possible. Yeah, man, this is the downside of being a perfectionist, is when you make mistakes, particularly a public mistake like driving into a guardrail and causing damage just a few minutes after leaving the depot, like it just weighs on you. It weighs on you. So I feel like I need to be just so smooth for the rest of this trip. At least feel like I can defend myself a little bit. Like, you know, it happened, but it was just me being dumb. Not because I don't know what I'm doing. I also, now I'm not making excuses here, but I've also noticed that the AI trucks, I don't know how the collision is set up, but I have seen AI trucks, particularly the boxes and trailers, I've seen them go through signs and through guardrails. So I think maybe the collision is set a little differently for the NPCs and the AI than it is for us, I think. Curious about that. But what I'm getting at is, don't follow, if you see an AI or an NPC going through an intersection or something, don't necessarily follow their line, because they may, focusing, they may take a line that is not, you know, you can't duplicate it without taking damage. That was not the case there. There was nobody in front of me. I wasn't following anybody's line. I just screwed up. But word to the wise, don't trust the lines of the AI. So, yeah, so I'm going to wrap up here. Now daily I've been doing a Farming Simulator 2017 video, then an ETS video, then a cattle and crops video, and then the rest of the day is mine. And I will relax a little bit. It's a Sunday. It's a funny thing to say, that right there. I just realized I said that. Thought about it. Like, what have I done so far today? Well, I've played some video games. Don't. Oh, game. Oh, my heart is pounding right now. Don't do this to me, please. And it heard me. It heard my plea. So you say, oh, you know, maybe, a little bit later, maybe I'm going to relax a little bit. Oh, okay. So you're saying playing the game where you drive around a tractor and plant crops is not relaxing enough. You need to sort of decompress a little bit, unwind a little bit. Did he not have a turn signal on? Or did I just not see it? Well, there's a mod for you. Burned out turn signal bulb. Broken indicator mod. So the AI just like does crazy things. I would think they do enough crazy things in front of us right now. I don't know that we need to add any misery to that. How are we doing on time? 4 hours, 40 minutes to get there. Whoa. 4 hours, 54 minutes for the job. We got a 6-minute margin right now. You know, I don't want to speed on these slippery roads, but I feel like we almost have to. And then it's just going to be, right? You see what I'm saying? Like, what's the worst thing that could happen? We're a few minutes late and we take a ding. We've already got damage to the trailer. We're a few minutes late. We take a, what the hell? Oh. Moment, please. Oh dear. Well, you know, you get to fail too. Yeah. Also entirely on me. But we'll leave it in. Now I'm driving for spite. I'm simming for spite. I'm so bad right now, and I know I'm 100% confident the game is going to crash before we get there, and it's just going to be just straight up torture. But I guess the irony of crashing the truck and taking damage while I'm debating the relative merits of speeding on icy roads that's just too good to be true. Well, I wouldn't say we have nothing to lose. I mean, there's always something to lose. But we gotta, yeah, I see you. Gotta pick it up. Gotta pick up the pace. And we'll just deal with the consequences as they occur. Oh. See, the thing is, if I zoom the mini-map out enough that I can see those coming from further away, they're so small that I can't see them at all. If that makes sense. Like, looking at the mini-map, you can barely spot a roundabout. And right there, as soon as I saw it on the mini-map, and that was a second or two before I saw the road sign in the actual, you know, the part that you're looking at. As soon as I saw it, I started downshifting and grabbing gears, and it just was barely enough. We would have needed to be going 20 kilometers an hour slower for that to have been handled properly. And I feel like, yeah, we've done things to make the game difficult, and that's what we got. That's what I got anyway. Trucks over here. All right. Is that Matt Damon? Little Jason Bourne right there. Okay. So we made it to Russia. This was one of our goals, and we're here. We'll continue moving north. Oh, sorry, we're not quite in Russia yet. We'll continue moving north and see what we can find. Is this guy moving or is he parked? He looks parked. They all look parked. Hey, that's Badania. Alright. This is a little tight. Like a Toyota. Alright. ProMods is beautiful. If you're not running ProMods, you really need to get on that. It is unbelievable. Just the level of detail and it just all seems so thoughtful. It seems like a tremendous amount of thought was put into it, and that is one of my favorite things in anything, not just in gaming, but in anything, is to see when somebody really loves something enough to do it properly. And it has to be love, because they give it away. They don't even do it for money, or if somebody's paying them. I don't know, it ain't me. I think I pay the €1 fee to download everything fast in one file, but that's it. That's all it's ever cost me. Each version of ProMods, however many I've had, half a dozen, €1 a piece, €6 I've paid for all this. It's unbelievable value. All right. We are almost definitely going to be late. I don't see how we can make this delivery on time. Oh dear. It's got to be there in 3 hours 7 minutes. We've got 3 hours 29 for an ETA. Not going to make it. And it's just going to get worse on this gravel. Now, I'm curious though. Well, no, I take that back. I think had we slept and then taken this job fresh off of sleeping, I think maybe we could have done all right. But I think we did that sort of quick trip from, we slept at Willie's. Oh dear. Oh, don't shoot me. Oh, why would that be there? Dear God. Who? Oh, Russia. This is the best, worst trip I think I've ever driven. Anyway, we slept at Willie's in, I can't see it. I'm not going to try to say it. We slept at Willie's. And then we took off the next morning, and it was only an hour or two to get to Kokkola. I think it was that 2 hours that's going to make a difference. I think if we had that 2 hours of sleep available to us right now, we would get there just fine. We would do just fine. But I think between Frosty and these gravel roads and me not timing the sleep properly, I'm blowing it. But it is a beautiful trip, and yeah, and I have to say I am enjoying. I mean, I drive. I hope you can see that. I drive as carefully as possible and as realistically as possible all the time, whether I'm recording or not. I mean, I only started recording 10 days ago, 2 weeks ago, so you know I didn't learn all this in 10 days. So I try to be a real fake truck driver. But I have to say that when you wad it up when you're solo, it's not that it's not a big deal, but it's sort of not a big deal. You know, you just continue on. Now, we've got 150 kilometers of fuel. We're not, I was debating stopping here, like, let me just do this, and that's one more catastrophe we can avoid on this trip, but I think we're fine on fuel. There's no point doing that now when we're just a few minutes from dropping off. Something else I did learn is even when the game crashes, OBS is still running. So I can say goodbye to y'all after the game crashes. I don't need to worry that the video just stopped and you're looking at the screen like, oh, well, I guess he decided to end the video. I can actually sign off and wrap things up somewhat gracefully. Oh, it's just, the brakes just don't stop the truck. Oh, yeah. Well, you can see when the retarder and the jake come on, you know I'm on the brakes. And it doesn't stop. Now, I do have my brake intensity turned down to what I think of as realistic levels. I am running another physics mod. Just a better physics mod. And I am running drivetrain revisions, which I believe changed the mass of the truck. Now, I don't think those physics mods stack. I believe the Frosty physics only affects the stickiness of the roads. But yeah, it feels like you're driving on an icy road. Step on the brakes, I wouldn't say nothing happens, but very little happens. It's not a pronounced brake effect. Oh, that's one other thing I also wanted to try. You can see we're getting a little bit of moray and some picket fence effect there on the stone guard. See on the right hand side, we're getting some picket fence. I've got my scaling on 200 and we're holding 60 FPS, no problem. There's not a lot of scenery here, we're not in a city, but I'm holding 60 FPS. I may bump my scaling up to 300%, which I'm told is not a completely unreasonable number. I may bump it to 300% and see what kind of FPS we can hold and see if we can get rid of some of that moray. I know it's not, depending on the monitor that you're using, it can be very pronounced. So I mean, I would love to go 4K, but that's just not in the cards right now. Oh. But at some point, I've been looking, I'm on an HP Omen laptop right now, i7 7700, I believe it's 8 core, I really should know that off the top of my head, I believe it's 8 core, DDR5 RAM, and 1050 card. Solid, you know, it's not the best system in the world, but it works great for me, and it's very portable. It's the 15.5 screen, so pretty tiny. Get my speed down a little bit there. There we go. You can build an Omen on the HP website. You can bump up pretty much everything. So even when I upgrade, I would like to stick with the small screen. It's portable. It's lighter, and I just want to bump up the. I would love to go to a 1070 or 1050 Ti, if that either way. Bump up the RAM, definitely. I can bump the RAM in this, but I don't know if there is any Omen laptop that supports 4K. But if there is, or as soon as there is, I'm in the market, and I would love to get. I would love to be able to record in 4K. Speeding again. Now I think we're going down a hill too. There we go. Better. Oh, there's a cop too. Although I'm feeling like Russian police. They're not really, you know. I don't feel like police in Poland. Police in Poland in ProMods are brutal, and there are also a lot of what I would call sort of tricky speed limit changes. You know what I'm saying? You crest the hill, the speed limit goes up, and almost immediately it drops by 20 or 30 kilometers, and there's a camera right there. So I feel like there needs to be a reasonable compromise. You can't, I mean, you could put up fake speed limit signs, and that would not be fair. So I think there needs to be a reasonable lead time between when the speed limit changes and when the speed camera's there, or when you drive out of the zone and are now sort of qualified to get a ticket, if you get a ticket. Bus stop in the middle of nowhere in Russia. That's how they do. Probably didn't have clearance on that guy. Well, that's a unique mindset to have right there. I screwed up. I took damage. It's been a disaster of a trip. So just here, as we're getting to the very end of it, instead of tightening up and being extra awesome, I pull in front of a truck on an icy road. Well, to be fair, I don't know if Grimes affects the physics of the AI and NPC trucks. Curious. Trying to get the trailer out over the white line in case we have some traffic coming toward us. Nope. All right, no whammies. And I don't think... okay, take that back. We are going into a town, so we're going to get a scenery load, and you know that's when we get some crashes. So if we do crash, I will say goodbye to a blank screen, and we'll meet again next time. Get myself together. Liking the fog too. Big fan of the fog. Kandalaksha, welcome. Doing okay. Doing okay. Holding. Right. Definitely feels like Russia. I'm not saying the whole place is like Chernobyl. But it can definitely have a Chernobyl feel to it. Now I gotta back this thing in, and I'm pretty sure it's a steering trailer. Oh, okay. Yeah, now when I say this, I am not blaming the trailer. I am blaming myself. But I was just thinking, I wonder if the reason we clipped... What the hell? Where's the turn? Oh, there it is. Yeah. Minimap is not always to scale. I wonder if the reason we clipped that guardrail is that the trailer turned in with me and didn't track out and around. Still my fault. You know, if I'm driving a steering trailer, then I need to account for that. So it's still my fault. Not making an excuse, but curious if that's what I did. Right. It's one of these. I'll try it. I'll try it in cab. Try it in cab. If it's not working, I gotta go outside. I think I screwed myself anyway, because I can't bring it in from that side, even though the visibility's better. Well, maybe. 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 No. Not even close. Not even close. I feel like I should just drive into another city before I start my... Well, forget what I said earlier. I don't know if that's a steering trailer or not. You know what? They're getting it that way. They can have one of the monkeys from the yard sorted out. I'm just happy to get it here at all. How do we do? 5,000 pounds, 5,000 pounds, 5,000 euro in damage. 3,300 bucks for being late. All right. Well, my fault entirely. Let's repair a loan. So there's that. And then before we go, I'm going to take a quick look at the job market and see if we can get a trip north. Well, to anywhere. These are all going to Norway. That's back into Finland. Norway, Finland. Nope. Nope. Okay, there's a possibility. And that's going to Murmansk. Okay, so we'll most likely take this lumber up the next day, folks. Thank you so much for coming to check out The Portable Gamer. Thanks for joining us for another episode of ETS2, and we will see you next time. Take care.